Why is it that every time a Matlala-linked official is called to testify at the Madlanga Commission, they always come up with an excuse to run away? The moment they discover their case is being handled by Advocate Matthew Chaskalson, the brutal evidence leader who tolerates no nonsense, they completely freeze up. The last time Julius Mkhwanazi came here, he was sweating through his nose and in his anus. It wasn't funny for Mkhwanazi, the corrupt police general under Matlala's payroll. Today it was Matlala's cartel man, Mike van Wyk. He was supposed to take the stand, but instead he sent his lawyers to deliver a ridiculous excuse. They claim he is suffering from panic attacks. Well, why wouldn't he suffer from panic attacks when he knows he would be facing Matthew Chaskalson? But Justice Madlanga has seen these delay tactics before, and the commission was completely prepared for him. Justice Madlanga essentially said, "Fine, we will postpone your hearing, but we are going to expose your dirty laundry to the public right now. That way, when you finally show up, you'll know exactly how much you have to answer for." Justice Madlanga immediately handed the floor to Advocate Matthew Chaskalson, and trust me, he began systematically dismantling Van Wyk. I am sure Van Wyk's panic attacks must have worsened wherever he is hiding. My beloved viewers, if you love how brutal Advocate Matthew Chaskalson is to these criminals, please hit that like button. Share this video with everyone, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Type Bravo Matthew Chaskalson in the comment section below to support the incredible work he is doing. Jabulani, roll the clip.
Matlala that we have encountered previously. There is one further point of clarification I want to make before I begin, which is that there are two sets of WhatsApp chats that are included in the evidence bundle. The first is the chats extracted from Mr. Matlala's phone, the chats between Mr. Matlala and Mr. van Wyk. They start at page 1 of the evidence bundle. And the timestamps on those chats are correct South African times. The software setting extracted those chats with South African times. There is a second set of chats which run from page 559 in volume 2 of the evidence bundle. Those are the chats between Mr. van Wyk and Mr. Julius Mkhwanazi of the EMPD. Now, on those chats, unfortunately, the chats were extracted using universal UTC, which is that 2 hours time difference between South African time.
And you say these are from whose phone? From Mr. van Wyk's?
From Mr. van Wyk's phone, and their chats with Mr. Mkhwanazi. Now, the time difference is not an issue, save in one narrow respect that we will address later. But just I should clarify up front that, when it says 7:15 in the morning, the South African time was 9:15 in the morning for those chats, not for the Matlala chats. Then I think the best way to start is with the Regulation 10.6 notice that was served on Mr. van Wyk last year in October, and to which he responded in an affidavit on the 2nd of December. And because we are not, much of that, much of what was included in that notice addressed the SAPS Medicare contract, and because we're not going to be dealing with it today, I should highlight the parts of that notice and the statement which we will be dealing with. And if I can ask you then to start at page 22 of the statement bundle. And the questions that were asked of Mr. van Wyk relating to chats with Mr. Matlala that we will be dealing with today are the questions that are at 3.1, 3.2, 3.5, and 3.6. And if I can take them sequentially, Mr. van Wyk was asked to address an exchange of messages between himself and Mr. Matlala on 7 February 2025, and the relevant chats in that regard start at page 152 of volume 1 of the evidence bundle. And there you'll see at the foot of page 152 that on the 7th of February, Mr. Matlala forwarded to Mr. van Wyk one of these sort of news reports that I think we've seen in several other chats already. And the headline is Breaking News, NPA ID Guns for National Police Rogue Unit. And in capitals, the NPA Investigative Directorate ID raids National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola and National Crime Intelligence Head Lieutenant General Kumalo officers after serving them with notices of arrest. This comes after an investigation lodged by Parliament's Police Portfolio Committee. Now, we've seen that report before. I don't want to dwell on it, but what I do want to dwell on is the exchanges that follow. So if we go down to page 153, you'll see that Mr. van Wyk's response to that report was not good. And Mr. Matlala then corrected him and said, it's actually good. My person is going to be a national commissioner now. And Mr. van Wyk responded, I remembered you told me something like that. So in the face of the report about the troubles of General Masemola and Lieutenant General Kumalo, Mr. Matlala thought that his person was going to be a national commissioner now. Now, Mr. van Wyk did address this in his statement, and we see his response at page 8 of his statement. And on page 8, paragraph 4.2, he says, regarding the WhatsApp communications from Mr. Vusi Matlala regarding the articles in the National Commissioner, I made it clear that I've never been introduced to high-ranking police officials and that Mr. Vusi Matlala never introduced me to any high-ranking SAPS official. Mr. Vusi Matlala made it clear on numerous occasions that he had contact with high-ranking officials, but he never mentioned their names. And I was never involved in any meetings except operational meetings or discussions with any of them, apart from Brian, as explained here above, and that relates to something involving the Medicare 24 SAPS contract, which we're not addressing. So his version was that Mr. Matlala made it clear that he had connections with high-ranking SAPS officials, but he never said who they were. So he wasn't in a position to, by inference, he wasn't in a position to know who Mr. Matlala was referring to when he said, my person will be national commissioner. There was a second chat on that day, which Mr. van Wyk addressed. And that was the chat at 1936 on 7 February, page 153. And there Mr. van Wyk said to Mr. Matlala, so it was George that set up the sting with the Hawks. And he explained what that chat related to at page 7 of his statement. Where he said, the WhatsApp communication marked the 4.9 refers to the annexure to the bundle, but it's this WhatsApp communication. The WhatsApp communication does not relate to the SAPS contracting as far as I know. I have had previous business relations with George Fundamaba, which related to close protection services, which was not a constructive business relationship and which I terminated. So he is identifying George, who set up the sting with the Hawks, as George Fundamaba. Now, Mr. Fundamaba was the general manager of the Optimum coal mine that was run by the Gupta family. And if we go to CJC 302, there is a video that we should play. And we have it flighted now.
Is that CJC?
CJC 302.
The video is that?
The video is CJC 302, where Mr. van Wyk appears to be introducing Mr. Julius Mkonazi to George.
Ekoleni. He's the head of the DNPD on this side. Hi George, just a quick video. I want to introduce you to General Julius from Ekoleni. He's the head of the DNPD on this side. I think this is a person I would love to introduce you so you can have a one-on-one with him so that your transport problems can be sorted out. He also have all the contacts for Tshwane in JPD due to his rank and everything. So yeah, I'd just like to introduce you to Julius, and then we all can get together and you guys can talk and submit the commission to him.
And we would be interested to know what the introduction of George Fundamaba to Julius Mkonazi was designed to achieve.
And what evidentiary material do we have on the company that you said was what belonged to the Guptas, but you need only answer to that if it's relevant to everything else.
Yes, this is after the Guptas had left the country. Okay. These events take place after the Guptas leave the country. Mr. Fundamaba is best known for his role as general manager of the Optimum coal mine, which was the mine that the purchase of which was the subject matter of the Public Protector report back in 2016.
Oh, thank you.
It's a matter of public record, but we do obviously, for one thing, we have the Public Protector's report from 2016.
Thank
you. The next chat that we raised with Mr. van Wyk is at page 22 of the statement bundle, which refers under 3.2 to an exchange of messages on the 25th of February. And that exchange is to be found at page 195, at the foot of 195 of the bundle. And again, it starts with a video which we should play. And the video is a video that Mr. van Wyk plays to Mr. Matlala.
Matthew Chaskalson just exposed a private chat between Van Wyk and Cat Matlala, and the WhatsApp logs are absolutely damning. They show Matlala forwarding a news report about police raids and texting. It's actually good. My person is going to be a national commissioner now. Van Wyk immediately replies, I remembered you told me something like that. This exposes exactly how these syndicates manipulate the police service behind the scenes. They track these raids closely, knowing that when a top officer is removed, it opens up a vacancy for them to install their own puppet. It is unbelievable. Matlala is celebrating, essentially saying, great, the current police bosses are getting taken down, which means my guy is going to take over as the next National Police Commissioner. Van Wyk's immediate reply proves he was already fully in on the secret plan. So Cat Matlala was actually plotting to install a national commissioner. The level of corruption here is staggering, and it doesn't stop there. In another chat, the text revealed that a Gupta-linked figure, George, was secretly working behind the scenes with the Hawks. That tells you absolutely everything you need to know about how deep this infiltration goes. In our next segment, Matthew Chaskalson reveals the terrifying lengths these people will go to when someone stands in their way. Trust me, you do not want to miss this. Jabulani, roll that clip.
That video of a man wounded inside a car riddled with bullet holes was sent by Mr. van Wyk at 13:07 on 25 February. And it is preceded, if we go to page 195, by two messages from Mr. van Wyk. The first is at the foot of 195. This guy also had an issue with George. This guy's name is Max from Today Destiny. And we've established that the video is a video of a man named Maxwell Mlangeni, who was the owner of a company, who is the owner, he survived that gun assault. He's the owner of a company called Today's Destiny Logistics. What followed in the exchange is, if we go down to page 196, Mr. van Wyk said, "Do you know what his surname may be?" And Mr. Matlala said, "Moyo." Mr. van Wyk said, "Thanks." And there was then a photograph. And the photograph, and underneath the photograph, Mr. Matlala said, "Temba Moyo." The photograph we've actually identified as the photograph of a man called Mr. Thomas Moyo. He is the general manager of Today Destiny Logistics. He's not the person who was shot, who was the owner of Today Destiny Logistics, who was Mr. Maxwell Mlangeni. And the shooting took place on the Bethel Road south of Emalakhleni, relatively close to the Optimum coal mine. And then we see at page, we see at the start of the chats that Mr. van Wyk said this guy also had an issue with George. Mr. van Wyk was asked to address those chats, and he did so at page, I've now lost my reference. He did so at page 8 of his statement. No. At the foot of page 9 of his statement, paragraph 6.2, and his response on pages 9 and 10 was the WhatsApp communication from 19 to 23 mainly relates to a photograph of a person I was informed by Mr. Matlala as Mr. Temba Moyo, who was shot. I'm also involved in the private security industry, and as such, as part of many WhatsApp groups relating to this industry, this photograph was circulated on one of them. I do not remember which one. So for that reason, I sent it on to Mr. Matlala. We emphasize the person who was shot wasn't Mr. Moyo, it was Mr. Maxwell Mlangeni, and he was described by Mr. van Wyk as Max from Today's Destiny. We would like to question further if the occasion arises.
Assuming you would also want to question him on what he meant by the guy also had issue with George.
Indeed, we would. Then the next set of issues on which we asked Mr. van Wyk to respond are the issues at paragraph 3.5. They were issues which we thought related to cash transactions and were reflected in WhatsApp communications between Mr. van Wyk and Mr. Matlala. The one that I would emphasize for present purposes is 3.5.2, which is a chat on the 24th of March, which is at pages 334. Starts at the foot of 334, goes on to 335.
Mr. Chaskalson?
Of Evidence Bundle Volume 1.
Yeah, if I may just ask, you skip 3.3 and 3.4 of that list of chats. Is it because it covers the topic?
It relates to the contract.
Okay, thank you. Number?
334. And the picture is mainly at page 335. And there you'll see that Mr. van Wyk WhatsApps to Mr. Matlala a photograph of a bag of cash, 200 Rand notes bound up with rubber bands. His explanation for that picture is at page 16 of his statement bundle, paragraph 6.19. Where he says the money bag contained in this photograph is cash monies that I won at a casino. And one can see from the casino bag that this is a typical casino bag. And the notes are also tied in a particular way, which is only done by casinos. I can make my records available that I have indeed won approximately 200,000 shortly before. And then he says, I never sent Mr. Matlala photographs of any monies that I won at a casino. Which, again, is odd because I think he's suggesting that this section of the WhatsApps is tampered, even though it accurately reflects a photograph of money that he won at a casino shortly before the message says it was sent. We then come to one of the more important chats, and this one requires a fair amount of contextualization because what the evidence leaders will be submitting in this regard is that is evidence of Mr. Matlala and Mr. van Wyk involved in the dealing in cocaine. The starting point is at page 378. Sorry, well, let's start. Mr. van Wyk at 3.6 of his notice was asked to address the exchange of messages on 6 April 2025 from 10:25 to 10:48.